Good morning again, and we're here to get together to talk about some amazing individuals who have helped our city in so many ways. And this is our continuing installment of, we try more or less once a month to honor folks who've done some amazing volunteer work and also just contributed to our community in special ways. And so today we're going to talk about some recipients of our One Albuquerque Award winner and our Volunteer of the Month. And we know that, things are a little different. We've done this in person before COVID and in hybrid situations, and we're a little bit of a mix today, but right now with just the case rates and stuff, we're more heavily on Zoom. But we are going to make sure too, for those folks who do get these awards, we'll make sure and get them to you, physically. So those will be, either delivered or in the mail, et cetera, so that you can appreciate them in person. So let me begin with our One Albuquerque Award winner. And Bailey McCullough is with us, I think, in the conference room next door. And we know that, this is about her work in domestic violence. And we know that domestic violence in our community is such a tough issue, and it's often associated with folks trapped in a cycle of trauma and really not knowing where to turn for the right resources. And Bailey and her team work to change that cycle. And as a domestic violence advocate, Bailey analyzes the reports that come in, and she also makes sure that her and her team basically come up with a strategy to try to make sure people get the right help they need at the right time. And this is a very intense type of work, and it also is very high volume. There's about 200 contacts a month. And so this is something that our city is just so grateful for. And what she does is put together programs like the sort of violent safety first and foremost, but also offering restraining order guidance and conducting risk assessments and making appropriate referrals and customizing this all for the victim in their appropriate situation. So we're just so lucky to have Bailey and her team and the work that she does through our Family Advocacy Center, which is a wonderful thing actually that our city's had for quite some time. And it works with a lot of community organizations. In fact, I see some of you on as well this call, and so it's a real asset for our city, and Haley's part of the glue that ties all of that together with APD and our different community organizations, trying to do what we can out of the Domestic Violence Resource Center. And so this also, Bailey's work is extensive in that it also includes a lot of grant writing for Violence Against Women Act grants that are absolutely critical for what we do. And on top of this, she also assists with walk-ins. So Bailey, we're very, very grateful for all that you do for each individual that you're able to help. And of course, for our city, it's tireless work for those in need. And you refuse to let anyone slip through the cracks. So I just want to thank you so much for that, Bailey. And I think I'm looking on the screen just for folks who are joining it. Bailey, you want to give us a wave? There you are, right, nice. Well, congratulations. And since you're here after, I'll walk over and we'll also, give you this in person, but there's your certificate, and you got a nice One Albuquerque pin for you as well. So let's all give Bailey a round of applause. And I know not all the nominators are always on these calls, but I'll just check and see if any of Bailey's team over there wants to say anything.
Yes, sir. Do you hear me, sir?
Yeah, go ahead.
Yeah, this is Lieutenant Juan Cabrera, Albuquerque Police Department. Yeah, yes, sir. You said it. You said, I just want to reinforce what you said. Yes, she vets all the domestic violence calls, the reports that come through our department. And unfortunately, that those can be numerous at times, but and you're right, she doesn't let anything slip through the cracks. She does follow up with with all these victims for numerous requests. And she's essentially our bridge from the Albuquerque Police Department to all the agencies, which is the epitome of community engagement, that how Albuquerque Police Department has an interdependent relationship with all of these agencies. And Bailey essentially is our bridge to that. She's helping all these victims, and she's and she's giving them the help that where the police officer on scene, if you will, could not help that victim out at that time. Bailey goes above and beyond to get them those resources, if you will, to assist them, to help to prevent it, to help prevent this further crimes and stuff like that. So yeah, on behalf of as her lieutenant, I definitely thank her very much, and thank you all and thank you, sir, thank you, Mayor, for recognizing her. Thank you.
Awesome, congratulations. Okay, and I think what we're going to do next is transition over to our volunteer side of the program. And we want to think about our four-legged friends and all of the great work that volunteers, especially Stacy George, do with our animal welfare department. And Stacy's joining us today, and she's an empathetic presence at our animal welfare shelters, going above and beyond for Albuquerque's animals. And when the pandemic hit our city, it really it hurt our shelters in a lot of ways, and continues to, in that initially we also had very few volunteers, and Stacy kept working and really stepped up during this challenging time, cleaning and feeding and taking our pets out on doggy day outs. And that was so important, and continues to be, now that we have influx and all sorts of challenges around space and care, given the influx of animals that happened after the pandemic. All of her work is just very much appreciated. And of course, she's an animal lover, and I know as a foster advocate, and even runs a nonprofit to help get animals out of shelter into rescues and sanctuaries, and to really just find the right home. And so her volunteerism at our shelters is really essential. And it's part of, everything that we do to try and help our animals find a right home is so heavily dependent on volunteers, especially strong, dedicated ones like Stacy. And so Stacy, thank you so much for taking time out of your busy schedule with a full-time job and a family to care for, I understand. So we appreciate you zooming in. And we're so grateful that you're a part of the City of Albuquerque animal welfare family. So a round of applause for you, Stacy. And here's your certificate. We'll get that over to you. And also I'm not sure if her nominator's on, but I don't think they made it today. But great to see you, Stacy. And so thank you for all that you do across all the metro area for animals. Congrats again. Okay, and then we do have one more recipient today, and I want to recognize Bob Wilson, one of our Parks and Recreation open space volunteers. And I see Bob there joined on as well. And for us, a big priority of mine has been to make our open space and our Parks and Rec accessible to folks from all ages, especially our older adults. And, part of doing that is dealing with transportation. And so Bob is a senior driver for Catholic Charities, and he volunteers to make sure that everyone has a chance to get around the city. And he's one of our most reliable and trusted drivers, and just says yes, responds to the call and gives the ride no matter where it is. There's no geographic boundary, which is actually a big issue for a lot of drivers that we work with. So we really appreciate that. And you just step up and give people a ride when they need it. And similar to Stacy's work, during the pandemic, again, we had a lot of people, rightfully so, for health reasons and stuff, were concerned. But we continue to recognize a lot of volunteers who stepped up during the pandemic and said, this is how I'm going to help, even though everyone else is really challenged. And that was extremely important for us back in some of those tough times during the pandemic. And Bob actually increased his hours to meet the demands that we had for all of his services. So Bob, we know you like to stay busy, and Albuquerque's lucky to have you. And we thank you for your commitment to our city's seniors, and congratulations on our Volunteer of the Month award.
Thank you. Thank you.
Oh, nice. That's so fun to see. So Jan, to you too. And thanks for sharing him with the city. So I think with that too, and here's your, our digital handing you, presenting you of a certificate there, and we'll get you a nice pin as well. So what I'd like to do, we also have one other, I think, very extra special award that we want to present today. And, we have a member on our volunteer board who does a whole lot in the community and is often involved with our Volunteer of the Month program, but also our civic engagement efforts. And she does a whole lot. And so Patricia Chavez is in the room here. Give us a wave, Patricia, so we can see you. She got an incredible honor from Silver Horizons, New Mexico, and has been inducted to the Senior Hall of Fame. And so we have her hardware right here. And due to pandemic and whatnot, this was a hard one to, sort of celebrate with a lot of folks. So that's why we're doing it here. But Patricia, really well deserved, and then some. And so a very, very fitting tribute and honor. And so let's all give her a round of applause. And I'd love to hand it over to you to hear any words or reflections on being in the Hall of Fame. Go ahead.
Well, Mayor, I've been invested in supporting our advisory board for volunteerism over the last 4 years. I'm very honored under your administration to carry that forward on behalf of you and, of course, Kristen Keller and our board members. Thank you, Aaron, for being on board today with us, Nick Votero, our staff member, and all that you have done in our city during COVID to make a difference for our seniors and other volunteers across our community. And in that stead, I will continue to work with you, your administration, and our board to continue making a difference in this community. And of course, one of my favorite projects, which is Hope Works. The last 8 years, I've been invested with them and was the only volunteer the last 1.5 years during COVID, but so very pleased and honored to be awarded that award on behalf of all of our community in our city. Thank you, Mayor.
Oh, well, you got it, and well spoken. And we appreciate too, especially in that, your excitement and enthusiasm and commitment for the future. And so awesome to have, Hall of Fame members, not just walking off into the sunset, but looking forward to that next chapter, both with the city and our partners, including in also Hope Works, so much in store too, with that new facility almost being done. So anyway, with that, what I'll do just with the COVID and whatnot is I think we'll wrap up the Zoom. But I know for the folks who are in the next room, at least, I'll pop over and say hello in just a minute and mask up and whatnot. But in any event, thank you all for tuning in today. Congratulations to all 4 of our award recipients. And we hope to see you in person at some point soon. And thank you for believing in our city and really demonstrating that one Albuquerque spirit. Thanks so much.
Thank you.